What's up, guys? Welcome to another video in our free CSS course here on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about backgrounds in CSS, how to add backgrounds, and more importantly, how to add background colors, what background color does, and background images. Okay, so it's two important skills that you're going to be doing a lot, at least when you start off in front-end web development. So, background color, just to give you a brief overview, is like how you give color to the background of an element. So for example, this element right here in this example has a background color of gray, and then within there's like a paragraph with a white background of code, but this is background color, this gray. And then there's also ways where you can add background images, which is a really popular thing to do in web design, has been for like the last 5 years. Pretty much all websites have what's called like a hero or a showcase section, so where there's like a background image that's a little dark and then white text and then like a button. So let's see if we can find an example of that. So background showcase example, or say like web design showcase example. It's called like a showcase or a hero image, or here we go. Fire art. Okay, so something like this. There's like a background image, and then there's text, and then there's like usually a call to action button that says like learn more, get tickets, view trailer. So those are all background images, guys. And then background images can also be used in like other designs that are more complex. Like I'll show you an example. I'm going to open this professional design in Figma. This is a design software that's free that anybody can download called Figma. This is a professional design that I built. I actually built this design on this channel. If you want to go check out that series, it's the Work at Landing Page series. But just to give you an example, like, so we have, this is the showcase area for here. This one just has a background color and the call to action and the white text. Doesn't have an image, but it actually does have these two circular image thingies on the corners. And believe it or not, those are added to the page, and we added them in the tutorial. We used them as background images because background images don't interfere with other elements on the page, which makes it really nice when you have like multiple elements in one area. You want your background image to not interfere with everything, because if we didn't put these as a background image, they would not behave in a way that we could position them in these areas, basically. But yeah, the main reason why you want to make stuff background images though is like decoration, basically. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into the code now, and we'll do some background colors and some background images, and it'll be fun. So in my Visual Studio Code text editor, I'm in my CSS course code. I recommend you follow along with me in your own text editor, preferably in Visual Studio Code as well. If you don't know what that is, type in Visual Studio Code on Google, and you can download it for free on Mac or PC. I'm going to name this file CSS backgrounds.html. And I'm going to make all of my code, all of my HTML, all of my CSS on here. Alright, so I got my boilerplate code up. I'm going to name my file CSS backgrounds. I'm going to launch my document with live server extension on Visual Studio Code so we can watch our page update in real time. And I'll put it right next to our code. And then let's go make some HTML. So I'm going to make a div, and I'll give it a class of div1. And then I'll make another div below it. Give it a class of div2. So we can style them separately. So div1, let's go ahead and select that. So I'm going to go under in the head of my HTML document. I'm going to make some style tags under my title, and I'm going to select the div1 class. So I'm going to say dot, that means class, div1, curly braces, and I'm going to say background color, green. Say green. Now that's not going to show up, and this is one thing you have to understand with background colors and background images, is your element has to have like a dedicated width and height for it to show up. So let's give it a height of 500 pixels. No, that's too big. Let's do 400 pixels. And a width of 100%. There it is. And we still have a little bit of padding and margin because we did not reset our browser defaults. We didn't do a CSS reset. If you don't know what a CSS reset is, go to my video on this course called CSS Reset, how to use one. And I teach you how to use those. Those are really important to know too, but not going to get into it now. So yeah, so that's a simple background. Let me go ahead and select div 2. Okay. And let's give this margin top so it's not right up against the other one. I'm going to say 3 rems. That just means 48 pixels. I'll do a video on what rems and pixels and all that mean. But I just want to demonstrate that we don't have to use background color. You can just use background, and we'll use red here, and it'll still work. I like to use background color because it's better to be more specific about what you're specifically changing. Okay, so background color and background both work for making backgrounds. Again, just make sure you have a height and a width so it shows up. And then let's make a div 3. And I'll show you guys the coolest part, which is how to make an image a background. So there's div 3. I'm going to make an image folder. I'm just going to name it IMG. And let's go download an image from the internet. I'm going to use a website called pixabay.com. Gives you free stock photos that you can use. And I'm going to type in space. Wow, look at that. Look how cool this is, guys. Look at this image. Milky Way stars. So I'm just going to download this one. I'll download the 1280. It's fine. Okay. And let me just... It's in my other monitor that you guys can't see. I'm just going to rename it Milky Way. So it's got this like big ugly file name that I don't want. And let's make this smaller. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go in I'm on Mac, so I'm going to go into my Finder. If you're on PC, go into your Files folder and then rename your image after you download it. Just drag it into that image file that we created. It'll be in there. There it is. And now we can add it. So let's select our div 3. Okay. And now I'll show you guys how to add a background image. So, and there's some example code here to help you understand. I think it's down here. Here we go. Background image property. So background image, and then you have a URL, some parentheses, and then some quotes. And in between the quotes, you can either put like a web address from an image that you grabbed offline, or you can put a local image that you downloaded, which is what we're going to do. And you can add it there via your image folder. So we're going to do it that way. And I'll show you here. I'll show you what it does. So let's say background image, and we'll go URL, and then I'm gonna go // so that / just means go out of my current folder and go into a new one, and then I want to go into my image and Milky Way. And remember, we're not going to see anything because there's no height or width on it, so let's change that. Let's just copy these styles down, add them here. All right, let's see. There it is. Pretty cool, huh? So there's our Milky Way galaxy image. Now I'm going to go full screen, and you'll notice that the image is like this big, and then it you can barely tell, but it cuts off here and then it starts repeating again. And that's because of background images in CSS by default will repeat, so they'll just like tile the whole screen with an image, okay? So we don't want that. You never want that. So what you do now is you can use another property, and I'll show you here, called background repeat, and then just hit no repeat, so that'll stop it from repeating. So I'm going to do that, and we'll watch the page update here. So let's see. Background repeat. No repeat, please. Boom. And now let's make this big. And now it's not repeating. And remember, I only made it like 400 pixels wide or whatever, so that's how wide it is. Oh no, I made it, width 100%, and the image went as wide as it is, and then it stopped pretty much. All right, so yeah, that's how you give something like a background image, guys. And then I guess I could show you like a little demo of how you would. I'm not going to make it super pretty, but I'll put like an H1 heading in here. I'll put like welcome to outer space. And then see our text is up here. So remember I said background images don't interfere, so you can put stuff on top of them, and then it's pretty cool. You can just use this is your background. So we could style it up just a little bit. So say H1 color white, font size 50 pixels, text align center, and then there it is. Welcome to outer space. So yeah, I mean, and this is basically like, you can see how doing this with styling, you could eventually get something cool like this, where there's like an image and text, or see it kind of like here. This is what they did. They made this thing a background image. They made a slider with JavaScript, and then they just put text over the background image, and you can put buttons. Let's put a button. Just gonna make an ugly button. Why not? Say button. Click here. Okay. Cool. There's our button. So there's our little button. And as you can see, like elements just stack on top here. I'm not going to make like a whole professional showcase right here, but I just want to demonstrate that that's how people are doing stuff. They're making background images, and then they're just putting other elements within the div of that background image. Okay. So yeah, that's backgrounds in CSS. That's pretty much all you need to know at this point. And I do want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.